It happened in a flash. 1 second, Zoe Johnson was scrubbing a marble floor. The next, she was speaking fluent Dutch on a call, and when she looked up, a billionaire was watching her. The very next day, he called for her by name. And what followed would shake the foundations of the hotel and an entire industry. Zoe Johnson, a black hotel maid at the Grand Plaza, was invisible to most, until a single phone call in Dutch exposed not only her hidden talents, but a systemic injustice no one had dared to confront. What started as a violation of hotel rules would become a revolution. Zoe's cell phone rang while she scrubbed the polished lobby floors. Rule number 1 at the Grand Plaza: no personal calls during work hours, especially for cleaning staff. But she saw the caller ID the university. After years of rejected applications, this might be her chance. She ducked behind a marble column. "Zoe Johnson," she whispered. The voice on the other end spoke in Dutch. It was Professor Van Hachten from the University of Amsterdam. Zoe responded instantly in perfect Dutch. Her pronunciation was flawless. They discussed her application, her motivation letter, the paperwork mix-up. Then silence. She looked up. Richard Coleman, billionaire owner of the hotel, stood nearby. Beside him, the scowling hotel manager, Ms. Richards. Zoe's heart dropped. She hurried off the call. "I'll call you later." "Tot ziens," she said. "Johnson, my office, now." The basement office was suffocating. "No phones during work," Richards snapped. "And what was that French?" Dutch Zoe said before she could stop herself. "I don't care if it was Martian. You embarrassed the hotel. You're reassigned convention center bathrooms. 3 months. Zoe blinked back tears. The convention center meant long hours, corporate events, no overtime. The punishment was clear. That night in her tiny apartment, Zoe cried silently. Her linguistics degree from Georgetown, her 6 language certifications, all gathering dust. She had applied 47 times for internal jobs, all ignored. 12 internal transfer requests, all denied. Still, she showed up the next morning, ready to work. That's when the front desk phone rang. Zoe Johnson to HR, the receptionist called out. HR was on the top floor, a place maids never went. She entered the director's office, stiff with nerves. "Mr. Coleman wants to see you now." His office was enormous, bigger than her apartment. "Dutch, French, Mandarin, Italian, that right?" he asked. Zoe nodded, confused. "I read your resume. Honors from Georgetown. Fluent in 6 languages. You've been cleaning my hotel for 6 years. She could barely speak. "Why?" "I applied 47 times, always ignored. Richards and Whitmore denied every transfer." Coleman made a note. "Interesting. Whitmore's been complaining about lack of multilingual staff for months." What Zoe didn't know was Coleman had launched a quiet investigation months earlier because of high turnover among minority staff. "There's a Dutch-Chinese business conference tomorrow," he said. "I need someone fluent. I want you as our international coordinator. Temporary position, $5,000 a week, starts today." Zoe's jaw dropped. "Why me?" she asked. "Because I heard you're Dutch. Because you're qualified. And because something's wrong in my company." That afternoon, badge in hand, Zoe took the executive elevator. She passed Richards, who nearly fainted. "Johnson. Where's your uniform?" "International Relations Coordinator. Mr. Coleman's direct request." Richards stammered. Zoe didn't stop. In HR, she met Zoe Williams, a new recruitment analyst. "I saw your file weeks ago," Williams said. "I tried to raise it. Whitmore shut me down." Preparing for the conference, Zoe found glaring translation errors in Mandarin. Offensive terms, diplomatically dangerous. She fixed them, rewrote materials. "How did you know Coleman asked from the doorway?" "Cultural nuance," Zoe said. "The translator knows basic Mandarin, but not business etiquette." Coleman frowned. Whitmore had spent $50,000 hiring that translator. Zoe uncovered worse. The translator was Whitmore's niece, unqualified, overcharging, and harming the hotel. The next day, Zoe floated through the conference. Fluent Dutch, fluent Mandarin. She bridged gaps executives couldn't. She was a natural. Whitmore approached her, fake smile in place. "Impressive work, Miss Johnson. Seems Richards underestimated you." "Seems you did too," she replied, "especially since I emailed you 47 times. He froze. She didn't mention that she now had access to records. Proof the niece was paid triple market rates. All prior translations riddled with mistakes. On day 3, a Dutch executive stopped her. "Are you the Zoe Johnson who wrote that paper on linguistic variation?" She nodded, shocked. "I cited you at 2 conferences." He introduced her around. She was no longer invisible. Behind the scenes, Coleman watched. Patterns were emerging: discrimination, nepotism, cover-ups. And Zoe was untangling them all. On day 4, she caught Whitmore slipping flawed translations again into final documents. She rushed to Coleman. "This has been happening for years," she said, showing screenshots, receipts, fake credentials. Minutes later, HR burst in. "I found something," Williams said. 5 years of hiring data. Systemic rejection of minority candidates, especially women. Coleman's jaw tightened. Whitmore barged in. "There's confusion. The Dutch want answers. Zoe must have messed something up." Coleman shut the door. $50,000 for bad translations, while qualified staff cleaned bathrooms. "Any thoughts?" Whitmore stammered. "We hire the best." Your niece Zoe interrupted. "No credentials. Fake certification, verified with Peking University." Whitmore snapped. "You're nobody, a cleaning lady." "PhD in linguistics," she said coolly. 6 international publications, all in your files. Coleman spoke. "Board meeting, 30 minutes. I want your resignation letter by then." 2 hours later, the executive auditorium filled. Executives, managers, Chinese and Dutch delegates. The cleaning staff sat in back, curious. Coleman stood on stage. "We've uncovered a scheme of discrimination and nepotism," he announced. "It's cost us millions. It ends today." Charts flashed on screen: hiring patterns, rejection stats, inflated contracts. Dr. Zoe Johnson, once known to many of you as a maid, saved this company from disaster. Applause rippled. Some executives clapped. The cleaning staff wept. Effective immediately, Whitmore is terminated. Richard suspended pending investigation. Coleman smiled. "And Dr. Johnson is now Global Director of Internal Communications." The room erupted. Zoe rose, stunned. Her name flashed on screen. As she left the stage, Whitmore passed her, escorted by security. "You won't last a month," he hissed. She smiled. In her blazer pocket, a recorder, with all his threats. That night, Zoe sat in her new office. Finally, she cried. Tears of release. 6 years of being unseen, over. She called her mother. "I did it, Mom," she whispered. But this story wasn't over. 6 months later, her title read Vice President of Diversity and International Relations. She earned 5 figures monthly. But the real reward, her Invisible Talents program. 147 underused employees identified. 83% were Black, Latino, or from other marginalized groups. Translation costs down 78%. International satisfaction up 42%. One day, Richards, now demoted to laundry duty in a third-rate hotel, watched the company broadcast. Zoe explained, "We're launching internal mentoring. Talent lifts talent." Whitmore unemployable. His niece repaid her fees and now studied Mandarin with a scholarship from Zoe's new foundation. Then came a personal moment. "My mom was a maid," Zoe told the company live stream. "She died thinking the world wouldn't change. But she was wrong." Executives wiped away tears. "The power of a company," she said, "isn't in profits, but in the people it believes in." Later that day, she received a letter. A visiting professor position. From the University of Amsterdam. From the professor who made that fateful call. Ironically, she thought if Richards hadn't punished me, I might still be cleaning rooms. The next day, she launched a scholarship for hotel staff and their children. The first recipient, the daughter of a maid who once shared her shift. It all started with one phone call, one language, one woman refusing to stay invisible. If this story moved you, if it made you think about the silent power of hidden talent, leave a comment below. Share your thoughts. Hit like. And don't forget to subscribe for more true stories about courage, justice, and unexpected transformation. Because when one voice speaks up, the echoes can change everything.